Welcome to the post-lunch session. So we start the first plenary session. It's called the Religious Leaders Session. So that is the first plenary session. We have 3 speakers, and the chairperson for this session is Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar. I request him to come to the dais. Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar is a Jesuit. He holds 2 master's degree in Sanskrit and contextual theology, and is a rare priest scholar in Jain philosophy and religion with MPhil and PhD degrees. He undertook postdoctoral research at Woodstock Theological Center, Georgetown University, Washington, D.C., and JST, Santa Clara University, California, and has taught at Fordham University, New York. He was secretary for the Commission for Interreligious Dialogue in South Asian Jesuit Assistancy and an occasional consultant to the Vatican Secretariat for Jain Christian Dialogue. He is at present an associate professor in the Department of Philosophy, chairing the Department of Human Excellence, and director of campus ministry in Arul Anandar College, Karumadar, Madurai district, Tamil Nadu. I welcome Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar and request him to chair this session. I'll also introduce the first speaker for the session. This is a recorded session. Dr. Mar Andrews Tadath. Dr. Mar Andrews Tadath is the Metropolitan Archbishop of Thrissur. He was born in Pudukkad, Kerala, and has been majorly involved in initiatives such as founding Legion of Apostolic Families, championed minority right protection movements and education rights of the church, started Tim Hans, started St. Paul Gurukulam at Tiruvallur, commenced Karunya Nidhi for the poor, started Secretariat for Social Apostolate, started AKCC in Thrissur, started cultural procession as Christmas celebration in Thrissur town, and he has had several academic contributions. Some of it is in Malayalam and some of it is in English. We will be playing a recorded video of Dr. Mar Andrews Tadath. I request Sham to start the video.
Dear Swamiji, Sri Hari Prasad, religious leaders, and my dear brothers and sisters, I am happy and privileged to address you on the occasion of the annual Peace and Reconciliation Conference by the Sri Vishnu Mohan Foundation, Chennai, on the theme, Right to Education is the Key to Peace, a theme which is very dear to me and to all of you. We ask any person in the world today, which is shadowed with war, pandemic, financial, social, ethnic and moral crisis, about their first or priority wish in life, one of the first answers would be, I want peace. That's why when the risen Lord Jesus Christ, after the troubled days of crucifixion and dispersion, greeted the disciples with the words, peace be with you. I also want to greet you and wish you with the same words, peace be with you. Maria Montessori, one of the leaders of peace movement in the modern world, said, education is the best weapon for peace. In this paper, I would like to concentrate on the themes, what is peace, what is education, how they are interlinked or interrelated, and how to achieve peace through education. Being a Christian, I may more use Christian views in my presentation. What is peace? The term peace is used with a variety of meanings that are different in accordance with the context of usage. Literally, the word peace is derived from the original Latin word pax, which means pact, or an agreement to end any dispute or war or conflict among or between people, nations, or antagonistic groups. The word peace has no agreed upon single definition. Some explain it as tranquility or quiet, freedom from disturbance or conflict, absence or cessation of war, a state of security or order, and reconciliation after strife, etc. According to Albert Einstein, peace is not only the absence of war, but it means or includes the presence of justice, law, order, or government in the society. According to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, peace can only last where human rights are respected, where people are fed, and where individuals and nations are free. In other words, peace means respect for human right, well-being of people, and freedom of individuals and nations. The concept of peace in different religions and philosophies. All major religions of humanity have always strived after serenity and prescribed calm and exhorted people for universal fraternity. Whereas ahimsa or non-violence forms a cardinal principle of almost all Aryan religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, the religions of Semitic background like Judaism, Christianity and Islam, which share the basic concepts of monotheism and life after death, describe peace and reconciliation as carrying great rewards in this life and here and hereafter. As a Christian, let me explain the principles from Bible. Bible depicts God as the author and giver of peace. Various forms of the word peace are found 429 times in the King James Version of the Bible. There are different types of peace, including false peace, inner peace, peace with God, peace with men, etc. Depending on the situation, it could mean prosperity or well-being. In the Old Testament of the Bible, the primary Hebrew word for peace is shalom, and it refers to relationship between people, nations, and with God, God with humans, etc. I don't quote Bible passages here. Peace is directly related to the actions and attitudes of individuals, but it is, as per the Bible, ultimately a gift from God, as we read in Isaiah chapter 45, Leviticus 26, and John chapter 14:27. The presence of peace indicates God's blessings on humans' obedience, Isaiah 32:17. And of faith, Isaiah 26:3. There is no peace for the wicked, Isaiah 48:22. In the New Testament of the Bible, the primary Greek word used for peace is eirene, and it refers to rest, tranquility, etc. When Jesus was born, angels pronounced peace to the people on earth, Luke 2:14. as predicted by the prophet Isaiah, that the coming Messiah would come as the Prince of Peace, Isaiah 9:6. He is called the Lord of Peace. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." We read it in John 14:27. Often the salutation of Jesus was, "Peace be with you." St. Paul says, "Brethren, rejoice, be made complete, be comforted, be like-minded, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you." 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. Now, God of peace be with you all. That's my wish, as St. Paul says in Romans 15:33. Now let me come to what is education. Education in general is understood as the act or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. The holistic approach regarding education is that it is based on the premise that each person finds identity, meaning, and purpose in life through connections to the community, to the natural world, and to the spiritual values, such as compassion and peace. Mahatma Gandhi said, "By education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and man, in his body, mind, and spirit." He maintained that education must be based on ethics and morality. Education generally refers to the discipline that is concerned with methods of teaching and learning in schools and school-like environments, but it also includes various non-formal and informal means of socialization. Education is designed to guide students in learning a culture, molding their behavior in the ways of adulthood, and directing them toward their eventual role in the society. Education gives a student a capacity to understand oneself as well as fellow humans and the environment we share together. It is the light shed in darkness which helps us see persons and things as they are and in their proper perspectives. In other words, it helps one to get out of their narrow fundamentalistic cocoons and perceive reality with its manifold dimensions. It helps one to get rid of prejudices which are key to suspicion and contempt of the other. It helps one to develop skills for solving problems in the society and arrive at peace. Education is a strong fence against extremism, whether it is majoritarian or whether it is minoritarian extremism. Education and peace are interrelated or interlinked. Mahatma Gandhi said, "If we want to reach real peace in this world, we should start educating children." According to Maria Montessori, establishing lasting peace is the work of education. All politics can do is keep us out of war. She says again, education is the best weapon for peace. Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The famous dictum of Confucius is worth quoting here. Education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. How to achieve peace through education? Education is generally considered as the means or method to acquire knowledge and formation in order to be successful and peaceful in life. Imbibing the spirit of many religious leaders, psychologists would say that three things are necessary to be successful in life. Namely, 1. Vision, 2. Mission, and 3. Commitment. In other words, in order to achieve inner peace, one should educate oneself to know who he or she is, what for he or she lives, and how he or she should live. Let me explain these three things. 1. Vision. By vision I mean correct understanding about oneself and about the other. That means self-consciousness and other consciousness. Vision about oneself is self-consciousness. In Indian philosophy, it is Atmanam Vidya. And self-realization is the best means for Sakshatkara and self-accomplishment and bliss in life. Socrates said that the beginning of wisdom is to know thyself. If education is the key to peace, correct understanding of human being is the starting point for achieving peace. The greatest leaders in history were people who had clear vision about their life and had, so to say, clear self-consciousness. Bible depicts Jesus as the person who had clear vision about himself, being one with his Father and being sent by his Father for the redemption of mankind. Other consciousness is also should be part of our vision. In order to be successful and peaceful, one should have clear understanding of the other man, his brother, mankind, the nature, society, nation, etc., and ultimately understanding about God. The second part for success is we should have mission or goal consciousness. It gives clear picture about the purpose of life of a human person, what for he lives. The search after truth about the meaning of life of a human being in this world and in the life thereafter will give that person clarity about his mission. Self-realization is for God realization. 3. Commitment. When a human person knows who he is and what for he or she lives, he or she will commit himself totally to achieve his or her goal. In other words, it is the answer to the question how one should live. Understanding of who a human being is key to peace, as I said earlier. From a biblical point of view, there are 4 ways to look at human being. 1. In the Bible, Genesis chapter 2:7a, we read, "Then the Lord God formed man out of dust from the ground." It shows that the first identity of man is that he is dust or matter. The second identity of man can be deduced from Genesis 2, versicle 7b. We read, God breathed into the nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. That means man is a matter with life, a living matter, which is called animal. Like every animal, man has all the 4 instincts: to eat and drink, to take rest, to have sex, and to conquer, or to have that's the law of the forest. When man is thinking and acting like an animal to satisfy the animal instincts, the peace he achieves will be that of animal peace. Such wild peace or peace of the forest is often the reason for war and crime in the world. Man is not merely an animal. He is a rational animal. We can deduce this from Bible, Genesis 2:17, where we read, "But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." Man created from clay and infused with life is given the faculties of intellect and will with the capacity to know and decide. That is, discretionary power with freedom for choice. These intellectual faculties of man help him for developments, discoveries, etc. And the outcome of his attempt is rational peace. But this rational peace includes also the law of retaliation, as we read in Bible, Exodus 21:4, Leviticus 24:19. In fact, Jesus corrected it in Matthew 5:38 and 42. For the rationalists and atheists, rational peace, I repeat, rational peace is the ultimate goal in peace movements. Man is not merely a rational animal with the faculties of intellect and will. I would say he is an animal with a soul. Rational animal with a soul. We read in Bible, Genesis 1:26, "Let us make mankind in our image and likeness." That means God made man with a soul or divinity or divine image. Therefore, in order to achieve everlasting or eternal peace, man should strive after divine peace, which is more than achieved or which is received as a gift from God. God is the ultimate source of peace, love, and knowledge. Man's interiority or self-consciousness seeks after God realization. In Bible we read, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Proverbs 9:10. Education as the key to peace has to be understood from this point of view. Understanding of knowledge and love for peace. And what's it? The basis for peace is love. Understanding of love and knowing love is key to peace. In 1976, exactly on January 1976, when I personally met Mother Teresa of Calcutta in Ernakulam for an interview for a magazine, I personally asked her about the motive behind her charitable activities, especially her charitable activities for the poor. She answered that question with another question to me. She asked me, "Do you know, Father, who is the poorest of the poor in this world?" Let me ask you, all the people who hear me, do you know who is the poorest man in this world? I was staring at her. Being unable to give a clear answer, I looked at her. With affection, Mother Teresa told, "The person who has the feeling that he or she is not loved by anybody, or who feels that he or she is unwanted, is the poorest of the poor." This is the real absence of peace of a person, of a man. There are different kinds of love. One is eros, or sensual or erotic love. The second is philia, or rational love. That is, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. And this is the norm behind this philia, as we read in Matthew 5:43. And this is the principle of retaliation. And the third is agape, that is divine, and we call it Christian love, Matthew 5:44 to 48. This agape or divine love is sacrificial love, is unconditional love. It includes love of even enemies. One of the main reasons for conflict, restlessness, hate, etc. is that man, like animal, often goes after sensual or erotic love, and at a highest or better degree, modern man goes after rational love, which is necessary for a better human living. But this includes also the principle of retaliation, and it cannot bring in lasting peace. But agape, which is human as well as divine, which is holistic and inclusive, will produce lasting peace. Education, therefore, must primarily include the personalization of agape in the life of every human being. Therefore, correct religious education is necessary to achieve the sublime form of peace in life. Search after truth, peace, and love is the best form and aim of education. It is the correct method of acquiring knowledge. Here one may ask, how do we know the truth? Let me say, there are three ways of acquiring knowledge and thereby understanding truth. The first one is knowing through senses, like every animal. Man also has 5 senses: eye or sight or see. Second, sound, ear, and therefore we hear. With nose we smell. With mouth we have the taste. And fifthly, touch or skin. And there are instincts for making use of these senses for living. This is necessary. Like every animal, man also requires them. But there is a second way of knowing things. Knowing through rational and discretionary faculties of intellect and will. All human beings acquire knowledge through these faculties. So the first one is senses, and the second way of acquiring knowledge is through rational faculties of intellect and will, and there is a third way of knowing things, and that's called revelation. Human beings are created in the image and likeness of God with a soul, and that's the third way of knowing truth. God can be defined as the absolute truth. In the course of history, God has revealed eternal truths to man, which are even beyond the grasping through the rational faculties of mankind. This is called revelation. In the Indian religious philosophy, it is called as Sruti, what is word, and Smriti, what is recollected or remembered. Holy scriptures of religions are thus considered as the revelation of God. According to Christian belief, it is called as word, logos of God. John chapter 1, 1 to 2. And Jesus Christ is called the fullness of revelation, as we read in Hebrews 1 and 1 to 2. From this point of view, any education which is aimed at peace should follow not merely philosophies of rational thinking and knowing, but also learn, accept and live the revealed truths seen in Holy Scriptures. Let me conclude. Peace is not only a gift of God, but also is a virtue to be practiced or to be achieved through systematic learning or education. As by Bible, God commands us to seek peace. Psalm 34:14, Matthew 5:9. We should make every effort to do what leads us to peace. Romans 14:19. Of course, there will be some people who do not desire peace, but we are still to do our utmost to be at peace even with them, says St. Paul in Romans 12, verse 18. Believers have an obligation to let peace of God rule in their hearts. We read in Colossians chapter 3, verse 15. Peace is the fruit of the Spirit. So, if we are allowing the Spirit of God to rule in our lives, we will experience His peace, God's peace. Galatians 5 verse 22. To be spiritually minded brings life and peace. Romans 8:6. Once divine peace rules in our hearts, we are able to share that peace with others. And thus we become publishers of peace. Isaiah 52:7. That means we are ministers of reconciliation and we are peacemakers. Aristotle said, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Nelson Mandela said, courageous people do not fear forgiving for the sake of peace. I would like to conclude this paper, this presentation, with a quotation of Jill Jackson and Say Miller, who said, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I repeat, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. In order to have peace in me, I must know who am I, vision, and what for I live, mission, and how should I live, commitment. For this I should search after truth, love and peace. And for this I require not only mere rational knowledge, but also divine knowledge regarding my ultimate bliss. I conclude with the famous words of Abdul Kalam. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. And when there is harmony in the home, there is the order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Let us be peacemakers. Thank you. God bless you.
You can summarize at the end after the three speakers. So the next we have is Swami Ramakrishnananda. This is a virtual session. Swami Ramakrishnananda is from Chinmaya Mission, Nagapattinam. He is a master teacher with a very humorous style. He has been very popular with the young and the old alike. He is also passionate about Sanskrit and the author of the famous Sulabha Sanskritam, that is easy Sanskrit course that is offered by Chinmaya Mission. I request Sham to connect to Swami Ramakrishnananda and start the session.
Om. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, to everyone there. This is a very nice topic, peace. Philosophy of peace, or the thought of peace in Sanatana Dharma or Hindu Dharma. We will see few thoughts. Everybody wants peace. After 25, 30 years, we understand what is peace. Before 15, 20, we don't know what is peace. Everybody enjoys. So when we get into problem, we want to come out of the problem, then we search for the peace. In many places, peace is said that you have to practice peace, you have to bring peace there. So when we analyze very deeply, peace is the thing to be achieved. We'll see one by one the thought. We try our best to get the peace. Final product should be the peace. This is how the life goes. There are three kinds of peace. In Tamil, we call it Amaidi. In Sanskrit, we call it Shanti. Shanti is a nice word. Shanti, Amaidi. When I saw, when I was very small, I saw a movie, Shivaji Ganesan movie. When I was there in school, he says in one of the movies, Ayirimirundum, there is no peace of mind. I have everything, but I do not have peace of mind. Still, that line, we are not able to forget. Because we watch movies when we are very small. So man is searching after peace. Now, there are three kinds of peace. The first peace is external peace. So when two people are there, if they get conflicts or problem, or the disturbance, and they fight each other. So one person is called Dharmik Purusha, another person is called Adharmik Purusha. So there is always the fight between the two. We can call it Dharma, Adharma, or positive or negative, or good or bad. Whatever the name we like, we can give it to them. So there is always a fight and the conflicts. So if Dharma, the good person, is dominated by Adharma, so the person or the society or the nation will be very quiet. There we find peace. I repeat, the Dharmic Purusha is dominated by Adharmic Purusha, or Dharma is dominated by Adharma. There is peace. If you go and ask how things are going on, they'll say everything is very good. We are very peaceful. Even though they say very peaceful, potentially they are very disturbed. If time comes and they will get burst. So we may call it negative peace. When Dharma is dominated by Adharma, Dharma is not able to fight with Adharma, it's keeping itself very quiet, then we can call it negative peace. Anytime it will burst. If Dharma comes up and Adharma goes down, Dharma destroys Adharma, then we can call it positive peace. So we need to have that kind of positive peace in the society. So all the societies, all the nation, in the global level also, we try to bring this kind of external positive peace. Dharma should fight with Adharma. Adharma should be eradicated and destroyed. Dharma should be maintained and established. So through Dharma, when we get that is called positive peace. So every society is working for that. So when we live in this society or in the country or in the world, it is not possible to eradicate this kind of conflicts and fight completely. It's not possible. Practically, it's not possible. Now, all scriptures are telling us you have to practice good values. You say, all elderly people, they will advise us. Even if you fight with like that person, what's the difference between you and that person? So they used to advise like that. Okay, we take the elders' advice and we practice all good values. When we practice good values, we are very good. The opposite person is not good, and he comes and he instigates. So at that time, how good people will react. So you have to practice ahimsa, and you have to keep yourself quiet, and you have to move in your own way. So it is not like that. The person will react. If a good person will go in his own way, the bad person or the person, Adharmic person comes and starts the problem. So good person will react. Then there comes the conflicts or the problem. So when good people are living peacefully, they want to have peace forever. The bad people are creating problem. They only disturb the peace. At that time, what should we have to do? What we have to do? Then we have to defend and we have to protect our peace. It may be in the family level or social level or national level or international level. Now, recently we had a problem with China. The soldiers came inside and they tried to occupy our land. So our soldiers went and they have driven away the Chinese soldiers, and we bought our own land. We got our own land. So we have to fight for that. So we establish peace in the border by force that is needed. So in the society level or the national level, peace is maintained. It should be maintained through law and order. So we have to use force. There is no other go all over the world. Every country is producing more weapons, even atomic weapons also. Why? To establish peace only, they buy more weapons and more atomic atomic weapons or other weapons. For what? You are getting so much of weapons to establish peace. That is needed. If you study our Mahabharata, the Pandavas good people, dharmic people. They lived very happily, very peacefully they were living. Duryodhana and other people, Duryodhana and his brothers, they came and started fighting with good people. We know story very well. Unnecessarily, they went on disturbing Pandavas. So they also kept quiet and they didn't want to create more problem. But they could not do it. Finally, they have to fight for their own livelihood. So they went for the war. War happened. So finally, after war, so we get peace. The peace is established by war in Mahabharata. So when somebody comes and disturbs us, so we have to defend through law and order, the social level, national level, international level. So this force is called the Kshatriya force. So we may say that Kshatriya is we hit other person, we hit bad people. So by hitting bad people, by hitting this kind of bad concepts, we have to maintain the peace in the society and the country. That is needed. Kshatriya force, rule, law and order is needed. This is one kind of peace we are maintaining externally. I hope you are getting the first point. First peace, external peace. It's maintained. In our scriptures also it is suggested. Sama, Dana, Veda, Danda. First we have to try to maintain the peace through pleasing words. Sama, Dana, then we can give some kind of charity or some kind of dana. And we try to maintain the peace. Even then it's not possible, then we have to warn the people. Even then the peace is not maintained, then finally we have to take law and order to bring this dandanidhis practiced to maintain the external peace. Because external means so many people, so many language, so many faith are there. There are so many varieties are there. Among the variety, so we have to bring the peace by force, law and order. So this is one kind of peace. Another kind of peace is our internal peace. The first one is external peace. Every country is try to maintain the external peace. Internal peace. Now there is no external peace. Every country is very happy. There's no border problem from country to country. There's no social problem. Everything is very okay, very good. So when you come to next level, even though everything is very good, the surrounding, I have a problem with my own. There's no peace in my mind. The second, the level of the peace, internal peace. Why? I don't know. My own mind is disturbing me. Why? I do not know. No. This kind of person, when he sits and introspects, so what's going on in his own mind is creating negative thoughts. And the mind and intellect fights, they fight each other. But mind is something, intellect is something other thing. Mind says all negative. The intellect says all positive. So intellect is guiding force, breaking away intellect towards the world. So there is always conflict between mind and intellect. Therefore, I'm not getting peace of mind. Now, again, the man is not getting peace of mind. He is completely disturbed inside. Even though his family is very good, in peace. Society also very peaceful. His country also very peaceful. There is no problem externally. But now he is getting problem from his own mind. This is called, what do you call, internal war, internal conflicts. So now man wants to get internal peace by bringing, by quietening the mind inside. So what to do? Now he has to go to religion. The religion only gives very nice suggestion. How to conquer your mind, how to get peace of mind. There is negative force in his own mind. There is positive force. So the conflicts between negative thoughts and positive thoughts. The root of all the negative thoughts is desire. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, Arjuna, you are not getting peace of mind. You know what is the reason? Oh, Lord Krishna, can you guide me? What is the reason I'm not getting peace of mind? Lord says, Kama yesha krodha yesha rajogana suddhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhyenimya vairinam. Please note down that this is your vairi, enemy. What is that? Kama yesha krodha yesha. Your desire from your mind, the desire from your own mind, and it brings all kinds of problems in your life. Therefore, this desire is enemy. You have to understand, desire is your own enemy. You have to conquer that. And how to conquer that desire and how to bring peace of mind is completely, practically he gives a suggestion, 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the 3rd chapter, last portion. You have to understand where the desire stays. You have to understand what is the function of the desire. From desire only everything comes. Ego comes, attachment comes, the anger comes, greed comes, all the things. Therefore, Lord Buddha told, desire is the cause of all the problems. So Krishna says in 3rd chapter, and he gives suggestion how to conquer. Indriyani manobuddhya asya adhisthana muchyate etaihi vimoka ityeshaha jnana mavritya dehinam. Arjuna, understand that this desire only occupies all your sense organs, mind and intellect. And it's covering your knowledge, it's covering your capacity, discriminative capacity. And this is your enemy. You don't think that you have enemy outside. That's a different enemy. But you have your own enemy in your own mind. If you conquer the desire, then you get peace of mind. And Krishna says, Jahi Shatru Mahabhavu Kamrupam Durasana. It's very difficult to conquer. He never told that it's not to be conquered. He says it is difficult to conquer. But if you make effort, you can conquer your own enemy. In 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that Atmaiva Hyatmana Bandhuhu Hyatmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Arjuna, you are your own enemy. You are your own friend. Don't think that you have enemy outside, friend outside. In one way, enemy outside, friend outside, we understand. If you go a little deeper into your own personality, you have to understand you are your own enemy, you are your own friend. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. If you don't control your mind, if you don't control your ego, all our attachment, your own mind becomes enemy. If you conquer your own mind, then your mind will become friend to you. So when we conquer this kind of desire and all negative values through positive value, then we get peace of mind. We have mind in peaceful state. So this is internal peace. So internal peace to be maintained through religious studies. Religious books are guiding us how to get it. All the suggestions we can get from religious books. Second, peace. The first peace, external peace. That can be maintained by a law and order of that particular country. Police, army people, or soldier. These people are working to bring peace outside. Internal peace, we have to make effort to get peace of mind through the study of the scriptures. Second type of peace. The third type of peace is absolute, the peace absolute. So the peace absolute, how to get? Spiritual peace. Now see, again I will repeat. You have to understand a little clearly. The first one is external peace. Very clear. Everybody understands that. Second one, inner peace. So bringing peace in the mind. The third one is beyond the mind, we have to go and understand the divinity. Divinity is absolute peace. Mundaka Upanishad says, Mandukya Upanishad says, the ultimate truth, the goal, we can call it by the name God, or whichever the religion call the truth in its own language, that is accepted. Every language, every religion has got its own name to call that Lord. Ishvara, whatever the name, Om, Shakti, Parashakti, whatever the name, you can call it. But Vedanta calls that truth Brahman, the ultimate truth, the supreme consciousness, Atma, like so many names are used in Vedanta. That ultimate truth is peace absolute. So Mandukya Upanishad says, Na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam, no bhayata prajnam, na prajnanaganam, na prajnam, adrishtam avyavaharyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintyam, avyapadesham, ekatma pratyasaram, prapanchopashamam, shantam, shivam advaitam, chaturtam manyante, sa atma, sa vijnayaha. That is Atma in the personality. That Atma is called truth or Brahman, the ultimate truth. That is a goal to be achieved. That divine, that Atma, the Brahman, is peace absolute. Its nature is peace. Therefore, Upanishads are suggesting no need to search for peace outside or inside. If you reach that goal, the Brahman, that is your own nature, that itself is absolute peace. There is no mind in that. That is the absolute peace means no mind state. So we have to understand the peace of mind is different and absolute peace is different. Peace of mind means we have mind is disturbed by something. So we try to get the peace in the mind. That is called peace of mind. Absolute peace means we have to drop the mind to go beyond the mind and reach the goal and reach the Brahman. That is called absolute peace. Param Shanti. Shantam Shivam Advaitam. Advaitam is non-dual. There is no second. Advaitam. Shivam, auspicious. Shantam. That Brahman is peace absolute. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Shantim Param, Param Shantim, Adhigachati. When you read Sthitapanya Lakshana of second chapter, Nasti Buddhira Yuktasya Nacha Yuktasya Bhavana. Nacha Bhavayata Shanti, Ashantasya Kuta Sukham. If you don't meditate, the person who doesn't meditate on Brahman or Atman, he cannot get the peace absolute. So that's called Param Shanti. So we have to try to get that Param Shanti, the peace absolute or the Brahman, that is goal of life. So in Sanatana Dharma, it is indicated there are 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. To reach this moksha is attained in the Parashanti, Param Shanti, peace absolute. In that peace absolute, in that Brahman, there is no mind. And we drop the mind and we go beyond the mind and we become peace itself. We are not having peace, we become peace itself. That is called Param Shanti. So when we summarize all the 3 things together, so one is external peace. External peace, we can call that peace by the name Shanti. Engum Shanti Nilava Vendum. We sing that song. Engum Shanti Nilava Vendum. External peace, Shanti. Internal peace, Manashanti. Sometimes we may get external peace, but no inside peace. Sometimes we are very good positive values, inside peace of mind, but external, in the family there is no peace, in the society there is no peace. So we have to understand external peace, Shanti, internal peace, Manashanti, and the absolute peace going beyond the mind, that is called Parashanti, Param Shanti. So external Shanti is maintained by law and order. Internal peace is maintained by our own effort, our own sadhana. Through that only we have to try to keep our mind peaceful. The last Shanti, the Param Shanti, can be achieved by meditation, yoga, Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, or this kind of yogas, Raja Yoga. So we try to get that Param Shanti, or the goal of life, through the yoga, the spirituality. And all these things, whether it is Shanti, Manashanti, or Param Shanti. So all the Shantis can be taught to our children through education. Now, I'm not going to tell any this, but this should be taught. This should be taught like that. So many great thinkers were there in our country, Bharat. So many great thinkers, and they contributed. Now all collected together and analyzed so many years, and a very big team was working on this the education. And we are getting this the well thought and well reflected the thoughts of education. Now we are getting very nice like butter, churned very well, and like butter and ghee. We are getting this. NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. So if you go and read this National Education Policy, it brings all the holistic development of child. Already the points are incorporated in that. So what we are having here in this conference, already this point is there in National Education Policy 2020. The National Education Policy 2020 brings the concept of Panchakosha Vikas in the students. Panchakosha. Sharirika Vikas, Pranik Vikas, Mano Vikas, Vijnana Vikas, and Chitta Vikas. Chit Vikas. Through 5 kinds of the blossoming of the personality, 5 layers of personalities, all these values, positive values can be taught to our children, and they'll become the great, productive, and very efficient, very skillful citizen of the country, and they will lead the future, the country. So the education also, all these points are discussed in the new education policy. So this is the philosophy or thought on peace, and already they incorporated how to bring the peace through education. So this is what I want to share. This is the idea for Sanatana Dharma or Hindu Dharma. It is discussed. So all the points I discussed here based on Mandukya Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and all. So thank you very much for this program. My special thanks to our Swamiji, Sri Hari Prasad Swamiji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Swami Ramakrishnananda. We have the next speaker now. Sri Onampalli Mohammad Faizi Ustad. Please, you can. He has a Master of Arts from Sri Shankara College, Ernakulam. Specialization in Indian philosophy and Sanskrit. He has also studied LLB at Government Law College, Thrissur. He is a Jamia Nooria Arabia Malappuram 1997 to 1999, specialization in Islamic Sharia. He knows 4 different languages: English, Arabic, Malayalam, and Sanskrit. He was the Imam and lecturer Malik bin Dinar, Islamic Complex, Thrissur. Present General Secretary SKSSF State Committee, Kerala. He has been associated through progressional organizations and activities. He was the Chief Imam of MIC City Jummah Masjid, Thrissur. Former General Secretary Nahju Rashad Islamic Academy, Thrissur. And Director Quran Study Center, Chavakkad. I welcome him for this seminar and request him to give his speech.
Can I select Malayalam? Yeah. Who is the translator? No, what? Translation is so.
He is Mr. P.L. Ramakrishnan. He was former DGP of police, Director General of Police in Tamil Nadu. And he is
Palakkad, sir. Yeah.
So he can translate.
Unfortunately, I have no fluency in English, so
അതുകൊണ്ടെന്താ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ലാംഗ്വേജ് പോരെ? നോ പ്രോബ്ലം.
okay.
He will translate, no problem.
സാറിപ്പോ മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ
മലയാളത്തിലാണ്.
അപ്പൊ ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്, അങ്ങനെ വളരെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് വിട്ടുപോകും. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോയിന്റ്സ് മിസ്സാവും. സാറ് ഒരു സെന്റൻസ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് അത് വിട്ടാല് ഐ ക്യാൻ ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ്. 2-3 പറഞ്ഞാൽ വിട്ടുപോകും. ചേർന്ന് അങ്കരക്കാരൻ.
നമസ്കാരം. വേദിയിലെ അഭിവന്ദ്യരായ പണ്ഡിതന്മാർ, സ്നേഹധന്യരായ സഹോദരന്മാർ, സഹോദരിമാർ, ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ സംസാരിക്കാൻ കഴിയാഞ്ഞിട്ടല്ല, പക്ഷേ കുറച്ചുകൂടി ആശയവിനിമയ സാധ്യത എൻ്റെ മാതൃഭാഷയായ മലയാളത്തിലാണ് എന്ന് തോന്നിയതുകൊണ്ടാണ്.
I am addressing learned people and also interested in this matter. Not that I can't talk in English, but I think it can be more forceful in my own mother tongue, Malayalam.
ഞാനിവിടെ 2ാമത്തെ പ്രാവശ്യമാണ്. ഇതിനു മുമ്പ് കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷവും ഇതുപോലെ ഒരു പരിപാടിയിൽ സംബന്ധിക്കാൻ സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
This is the second time I am coming here. Last time also I was here for one of these programs.
നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് ചർച്ച ചെയ്യുന്നത് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലൂടെ ശാന്തി എന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ്.
Today we are discussing whether there can be peace through education.
നല്ല വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം സംസ്കാരത്തെ, മാനവികതയെ, അതോടൊപ്പം മനുഷ്യനാവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള ദയ, കാരുണ്യം എന്ന് എല്ലാ ഘടകങ്ങളെയും ഉൽപ്പാദിപ്പിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ്.
Good education will have the factors like sympathy, compassion, empathy and things like that for humanity.
വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായ മൂല്യം തന്നെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലൂടെ മനുഷ്യന്റെ സാംസ്കാരികമായ, മാനവികമായ മാറ്റങ്ങൾ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളാൻ കഴിയുന്നു എന്നതാണ്.
The basic reason or foundation for an education is for transformation of the human mind, for being helpful to humanity.
വിശുദ്ധ ഖുർആനിന്റെ തുടക്കം, അതിൻ്റെ ആദ്യ ഭാഗത്ത് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധ്യമാകുന്നത് ഖുർആൻ ആദ്യം മനുഷ്യനോട് ആവശ്യപ്പെട്ടത് പഠിക്കണമെന്നാണ്, വായിക്കണമെന്നാണ്. ടു റീഡ്. ഇഖ്റ ബിസ്മി റബ്ബിക്കല്ലദീ ഖലഖ്.
The first thing that Holy Quran teaches is read, understand, assimilate and practice.
സ്രഷ്ടാവിന്റെ നാമധേയത്തിൽ വായിക്കുക. അതുവഴി സ്രഷ്ടാവിനെ അറിയാൻ സാധ്യമാകുന്ന വിധത്തിലേക്ക് പ്രപഞ്ചത്തെയും കുറിച്ചുള്ള വായന കൂടി നടക്കണമെന്നാണ് പരിശുദ്ധ ഖുർആൻ പറയുന്നത്.
Holy Quran also says about how to reach the feet of the Lord or the Creator, and also what are the means that should be adopted for that.
വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം നേടുന്നത് വഴി, അതായത് വിജ്ഞാനമാർജിക്കൽ വഴി ദൈവത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായി മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ഒരാൾക്ക് സാധിക്കുക എന്നതാണ്.
The aim of education itself should be for realizing this sort of a basic truth.
അതുകൊണ്ട് ഖുർആൻ ഇങ്ങനെ കൂടി പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നുണ്ട്, ആകാശഭൂമികളെ, രാവിൻ്റെയും പകലിൻ്റെയും മാറ്റങ്ങളെ, എല്ലാത്തിനെയും കുറിച്ച് പഠിക്കുക എന്നത് പ്രധാനമാണ്.
It is therefore the teaching of Holy Quran that one should know about the purpose of creation of the heaven, earth, night, day and all these sorts of transformations in nature.
അതുവഴി പ്രാപഞ്ചികമായ ഈ യാഥാർത്ഥ്യങ്ങളെ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുകയും അത് സംബന്ധമായ അന്വേഷണങ്ങൾ നടത്തുകയും ചെയ്യണം എന്നും, ആ അന്വേഷണങ്ങളിലൂടെ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ സത്തെ, ദൈവത്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തെ അറിയാൻ സാധിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യണം എന്നും ഖുർആൻ നമ്മോട് പറയുന്നത് കാണാനാവും.
It also envisages the need for research and find out the basic needs and how to approach the God.
രണ്ട് പ്രധാന ഘടകങ്ങളിലാണ് മതത്തെ ഇസ്ലാം ഇങ്ങനെ കാണുന്നു. ഒന്ന്, ദൈവത്തിന്റെ ഏകത്വത്തെ കുറിച്ച് അത് പറയുന്നു.
There are two factors which are basic to proceed on these lines.
നമുക്കിത് ഉപനിഷത്തുകളിലും കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. അതായത് ഏകമേവ അദ്വിതീയം, ഒരേ ഒരു സത്തയെക്കുറിച്ച് മാത്രം സംസാരിക്കുന്നു, ഒരേ ഒരു ആത്മാവിനെ കുറിച്ച് മാത്രം സംസാരിക്കുന്നു.
This also can be found in the Upanishadic statement, Ekam eva advitiyam, one only. Advitiyam is non-duality, but here Ekam advitiyam, no, eva, one and only one. That is what the Upanishad teaches.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Returning parayano.
ഋഗ്വേദത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്നുണ്ട്, സത്ത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഏകം സത് വിപ്രാ ബഹുധാ വദന്തി. സത്ത് അഥവാ അബ്സല്യൂട്ട് ട്രൂത്ത്, യാഥാർത്ഥ്യം ഒന്നേയുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ പണ്ഡിതന്മാർ അതിനെ പലതായി വിചാരിക്കുന്നു എന്ന് ഋഗ്വേദം നമ്മെ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തരുന്നുണ്ട്.
The Rigvedic statement is Ekam Sat Vipraha Bhuta Vadanti. There's only one reality, but people speak about differently. You can perhaps give a common example. Energy is there, electricity, but it can be seen in very ways. Fan is there, light is there, air conditioner is there, but all these things will work only basically if there is current.
Yeah. So the eternal truth, absolute truth is only one. No. അത് പ്രകാരം ദൈവത്തിന്റെ ഏകത്വത്തെ സ്ഥാപിക്കുന്നതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ
There's one thing.
മനുഷ്യത്വത്തിന്റെ ഏകത്വത്തെയും സ്ഥാപിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ് പ്രധാനം.
There is only oneness in humanity, like oneness in divinity also. Perhaps this is what Shankara says in the commentary, starting on the Brahma Sutras. Evam Yegamabhi Brahma Nama Rupa Ubadi Sambandham Tad Viparidam Sarvobadi Vivarjidam. It's exactly what Shankara says in the commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Yes, sir.
Yeah. വേദങ്ങളിലും ഇതുപോലെ കാണാനാവും. ഉപനിഷത്തുകളിൽ
In Vedas
മനുഷ്യന്റെ
also.
വൈവിധ്യങ്ങളെ ഒന്നായി കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുക എന്നത് പ്രധാനമാകുന്നു എന്ന്. അഥവാ ഏറ്റവും സങ്കുചിതമായ മനസ്സുള്ളവരാണ് പലപ്പോഴും ഈ വിവേചനങ്ങളെ കാണുന്നത്.
Only people with narrow mind see the differences. Vedic statements are also saying that there's only one, and that one has to be understood as one only and not differently. Only people with narrow mind will understand differently.
This is Ayam Nija Parovedi Gnana Lekuchedasam Udara Chittanam Tu Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam.
I am Nijo Parovedi. Whether this is true or whether the difference is for normal people who are not enlightened, but Udara Charitanam Tu Vasudhaiva Kudumbagam. The beautiful word Kudumbakam, not Kudumbam.
Vasudha Eva Kudumbagam.
Kudumbam is family. Kudumbakam means small family. Alparte Kapratyaha. That is the rule in grammar. Therefore, the whole universe is very small family. That's the meaning of Kudumbakam, not Kudumbam.
Yeah. ഇതേ പ്രസ്താവന തന്നെ പരിശുദ്ധ പ്രവാചകൻ പറയുന്നത് കാണാം. അതിങ്ങനെയാണ്, ഈ പ്രപഞ്ചമാകെ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ കുടുംബമാകുന്നു എന്നാണ്. അൽ ഖൽഖു ഇയാലുള്ള, ഇൻ അറബിക് വേർഡ്സ് അൽ ഖൽഖു ഇയാലുള്ള, the entire universe is the family of God. Can see. ഞാൻ ഈ പറഞ്ഞു വരുന്നത് സത്യത്തിലൂടെ വലിയ ഒരു സങ്കീർണത വരുന്നത് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നതും ബഹുമാന്യനായ എൻ്റെ പരിഭാഷകനായ വളരെ ഉയർന്ന ഉദ്യോഗസ്ഥൻ കൂടിയായിട്ടുള്ള ആയിരുന്ന അഭിനന്ദനായ സാറിൻ്റെ പരിഭാഷയും രണ്ടും വളരെ ഒത്തുചേർന്ന് പോകുന്നതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ചിലപ്പോഴൊക്കെ എന്നെ അത്ഭുതപ്പെടുത്തുന്ന വിധം ആ വിഷയ സംബന്ധമായി കൂടുതൽ പറയുന്നു എന്നതാണ്.
അതൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ പ്രസൻസ് കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, സാന്നിധ്യം എനിക്കൊന്നും അറിയില്ല പറയണം.
അപ്പോ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു വന്നത് മനുഷ്യന്റെ ഏകത്വത്തെക്കുറിച്ച്, മനുഷ്യർക്കിടയിലുള്ള വിവേചനരഹിതമായ ചിന്തയെക്കുറിച്ച്. ഇതാണ് ഖുർആൻ കൂടുതലായി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട പ്രസ്താവന. വിശുദ്ധ ഖുർആനിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ കാണാനാകും.
Holy Quran speaks about unity of the entire humanity. Only people who lack knowledge will find the difference.
നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും ഒരേ ഉമ്മയുടെയും ഒരേ വാപ്പയുടെയും മക്കളാണ്.
All of you are the children of one God and one truth. God is truth.
നിങ്ങൾക്കിടയിലെ ഈ വർണ്ണവും വർഗവും ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന വിവേചനങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾ പരസ്പരം തിരിച്ചറിയാനുള്ളതാണ്.
This difference or division regarding caste, community, religion and things like that are only for understanding each other but not really real.
എന്നാൽ നിങ്ങളിൽ ഏറ്റവും ബഹുമാന്യർ കൂടുതൽ ദൈവഭക്തരായ ആളുകളാകുന്നു എന്നാണ് ഖുർആന്റെ പക്ഷം.
What I feel is, what he says, what I feel is that all of you are so devoted, you will see beyond the differences which are apparent and not real.
ഇത് ഖുർആൻ നൽകുന്ന മനോഹരമായ വൈവിധ്യങ്ങളെ ചേർക്കുകയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ആ വൈവിധ്യങ്ങളുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ മനുഷ്യന്റെ ഏകത്വത്തെ തിരിച്ചറിയുകയും ചെയ്യുന്ന മനോഹരമായൊരു സന്ദേശമാണ്.
The message is that though you see diversity, there is actually unity in the diversity.
ഇതേ അവസ്ഥയിൽ നമുക്ക് ഗീതയിലും ഇങ്ങനെ കാണാം.
The same thing.
പണ്ഡിതനാകുമ്പോൾ പണ്ഡിതൻ എല്ലാത്തരം വിവേചനങ്ങൾക്കും മീതെ നിൽക്കുന്ന സമദർശിയായി മാറുന്നു എന്നാണ്.
വിദ്യാവിനയ
സമ്പന്നേ ബ്രാഹ്മണേ ഗവിഹസ്തിനി ശുനിജൈവ സ്വഭാഗേജ പണ്ഡിത സമദർശിന.
അപ്പൊ പറയുന്നത് എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ, in Gita also we find the same thing. Vidya vinaya sampannē brahmani. Brahmana does not mean caste. Brahmani yaha tishtati sabbrahmana. Not because a person wears a sacred thread or he says I am son of so and so or have an appellation Iyer, Iyengar, Rao and all that. That doesn't indicate Brahmin. Brahmani yaha sada tishtati sabbrahmana. Vidya vinaya sampannē brahmane, gavi in a cow, hastini in an
elephant,
shuni in a dog, shwabage, a person who eats the flesh of dog, pandita, panda yasya samjada saha pandita.
Panda yasya atmavidya yasya saha sa pandita.
That is samadarshana. Samadarshana ityukte tattvadarshana ityartha. Samam tattvam. Tatitvam. Idi samatvam. So that is what the signal is. Yes, sir.
എല്ലായിടങ്ങളിലും അങ്ങനെയാണ്. ദൈവത്തിന്റെ സാമീപ്യവും ദൈവത്തിന്റെ സ്ഥാനവും നിശ്ചയിക്കപ്പെടുന്നതും അങ്ങനെയാണ്.
Everywhere it is the presence and immanence of God that is there in all.
ഗീതയിൽ ഒരു പരാമർശവും കൂടി ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ പറയാം. ഈശ്വര സർവഭൂതാനാം ഹൃദയേ അർജുന തിഷ്ഠതി.
ബ്രാഹ്മണൻ സർവഭൂതാനി യന്ത്രാരൂഢാനി മായ.
അദ്ദേഹം നേരെ കൂടാണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ
ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ തെറ്റാണെങ്കിൽ
യു ആർ വെൽക്കം.
അതാ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്വാമിജിക്ക് മുകളിൽ ഒന്നുമില്ല. സ്വാമിജി പറഞ്ഞാല് എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞാലും ഞങ്ങൾ കേൾക്കണം.
അപ്പൊ ഈശ്വരന്റെ സ്ഥാനം സർവഭൂതങ്ങളുടെയും ഹൃദയദേശത്ത് എന്ന് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ എല്ലാ വസ്തുക്കളിലും എല്ലാ ജീവജാലങ്ങളിലും ദൈവകാരുണ്യത്തിന്റെ ദൈവസ്ഥാനത്തിന്റെ ഒരു വലിയ കാഴ്ചപ്പാട് തന്നെയാണ് ഭഗവത്ഗീതയും നമ്മോട് പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നത്.
ഭഗവത്ഗീത says ഈശ്വരഃ സർവഭൂതാനാം ഹൃദയേ അർജുന തിഷ്ഠതി. സർവഭൂതാനാം, that is all beings. Buddha does not mean human beings alone. Bhu to become. Everything that is there, that is seen in the universe is a Buddha. We should not understand Buddha as a ghost. It comes from Bhu to become. That is the root. So everything that is a being, living being, there is heart is supposed to be the most important organ. All other things are secondary to that. If there is no heart, because we talk in English also, the heart of the matter, that is a summary of the matter. So for everywhere, the presence of God is there in all. This shows only the equality and equality among all creations. There is no difference at all.
അതെ, എവിടെയും വ്യത്യസ്തതകളില്ലാത്ത കാഴ്ചപ്പാടിനെ, ഏകത്വത്തിന്റെ കാഴ്ചപ്പാടിനെ അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ്
This is actually showing the oneness without any difference.
അതാണ് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ സൂചിപ്പിച്ച പോലെ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ ഏകത്വം പോലെ തന്നെ മനുഷ്യത്വത്തിന്റെ ഏകത്വം, മാനവികതയുടെ ഏകത്വം, അത് പ്രധാനമായും ഖുർആൻ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ്.
Holy Quran says about not only divinity is common, but in humans, humanity also is common.
കുറച്ചുകൂടി കടന്നാൽ നമുക്ക് പ്രപഞ്ചത്തെ തന്നെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഏകമായി നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരു സത്തയായി കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നു എന്ന് ഖുർആൻ പറയുന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പ്രവാചകൻ
Beyond this also, one should be able to see the entire universe as one.
അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പ്രവാചകൻ ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നതും, അതായത് പ്രപഞ്ചം ദൈവത്തിന്റെ കുടുംബമാകുന്നു എന്ന്.
That is why Holy Quran says the whole universe is the family of God.
ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ടത്, ഇസ്ലാമിക വിജ്ഞാനവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെടുത്തി ഞാൻ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ എല്ലാം കൈൻഡ്നെസ്, കാരുണ്യം, അതിന് വലിയ പ്രാധാന്യം നൽകുന്നു എന്നതാണ്. പ്രവാചകനെ ഖുർആൻ വിശേഷിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് തന്നെയും എല്ലാ സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെയും കാരുണ്യം എന്നാണ്. ദ മാൻ ഹൂ ഇസ് ദ കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ മാൻകൈൻഡ്, ഓൾ ഹ്യൂമാനിറ്റി.
Holy Quran speaks about compassion for all creations.
മനുഷ്യൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണമെന്നാണ്. അതായത് വിജ്ഞാനത്തിലൂടെ മാത്രമാണ് മനുഷ്യനെ സാംസ്കാരികമായി അഭിവൃദ്ധിപ്പെടാൻ സാധ്യമാകുന്നു എന്നതുകൊണ്ടാണ് വിജ്ഞാനം ലഭ്യമായ മനുഷ്യൻ കൂടുതൽ ആദരിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു എന്ന് ഖുർആൻ പറയുന്നു.
Vijnanam actually is science. Jnanam is knowledge in our understanding. So Visheshena Jnanam is something more than the normal understanding. So that is what Holy Quran also stresses.
ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഖുർആൻ ഒരു മനോഹരമായ സൃഷ്ടികഥയെ കുറിച്ച് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
This is the wonderful way in which it pictures what is the creation and the
ദൈവം
secret of creation.
മനുഷ്യനെ അവന്റെ പ്രതിനിധിയായി ഭൂമിയിലേക്ക് അയക്കുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ച് ഖുർആൻ പറയുന്നു.
It also says about man being sent to the universe as a representative of God.
ആ സമയത്ത് ഖുർആൻ പ്രയോഗിച്ചത് ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്: ഞാൻ ഭൂമിയിലേക്ക് എന്റെ പ്രതിനിധിയായി ഒരാളെ അയക്കാൻ തീരുമാനിക്കുന്നു എന്നായിരുന്നു.
Quran says that I have decided to send one as my representative to the world.
ആ സമയത്ത് മാലാഖമാർ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, എന്തിനാണ് ഭൂമിയിൽ കലാപങ്ങളും കുഴപ്പങ്ങളും ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി നീ ഒരു പുതിയ സൃഷ്ടിയെ അയക്കണം എന്ന ചോദ്യം മാലാഖമാർ ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Some people raise this question, then why are you doing that for creating all sorts of disputes in this world?
ഖുർആൻ ദൈവം ഇങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നത് കാണാം: ഞാൻ മനുഷ്യനെ നിയോഗിക്കുന്നത് മനുഷ്യന് ജ്ഞാനം നൽകിക്കൊണ്ടാണ്. വഅല്ലമ ആദമുൽ അസ്മാഅ കുല്ലഹ, എല്ലാ ജ്ഞാനത്തെയും ആദം എന്ന ആദ്യ പിതാവിന് നൽകി അവൻ ആദരണീയനായിട്ടാണ് ഭൂമിയിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത് എന്ന് ഖുർആൻ പറയുന്നു.
The Holy Quran again states that the one person whom I have sent is Adam. That's what they speak about in Christianity also.
Yeah.
As person with all the knowledge, not the mere material knowledge, all the knowledge for that creating a situation which is good and helpful to everybody.
അതുവഴി നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം, വിജ്ഞാനമുള്ളപ്പോൾ വിജ്ഞനായ ഒരു മനുഷ്യനെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അദ്ദേഹം കൂടുതൽ ആദരിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു എന്ന് മാത്രമല്ല, അദ്ദേഹം സംസ്കാര സമ്പന്നനായി, സൗമ്യശീലനായി, ശാന്ത സ്വഭാവക്കാരനായി, സമൂഹത്തിൽ ശാന്തി പടർത്തുന്ന ഒരാളായി മാറുന്നു എന്നാണ് ഖുർആൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തരുന്നത്.
The point is that a person of that type, not only he is cultured, he also spreads culture among the people and creates a state of universal peace.
ഇതുതന്നെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ വേദങ്ങളിലെ ഉപനിഷത്തുകളിലൊക്കെ കാണുന്ന ഒരു പ്രധാന കാര്യം. തൈത്തരീയ ഉപനിഷത്തിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ കാണാനാവും.
The same thing is found in the Upanishadic statements also, and especially in Taittiriya Upanishad.
ഒരു കോൺവെക്കേഷണൽ സ്പീച്ച് പോലെ, ആചാര്യന്മാരുടെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളോടുള്ള ഉപദേശം പോലെ കാണാം.
വേദമനുച്യാചാര്യോ
സത്യം വദ
ധർമ്മം ചര അധ്യായാൻമാ പ്രവദഃ ആചാര്യായ പ്രിയം ധർമാകൃത്യ പ്രജാതന്തും മാ വിവസ്യേസി.
ന ധർമാത് പ്രമദവ്യം ന സത്യാത് പ്രമദവ്യം.
മാതൃദേവോ ഭവ, പിതൃദേവോ ഭവ, ആചാര്യ ദേവോ ഭവ, അതിഥി ദേവോ ഭവ. These are the very correctly said by the sir. It is convocation address.
സത്യം പറയണം,
at the end of the training, the student has completed the lessons, and before he is sent back for his Grihastha Ashrama, this is the instruction given. It's called Shikshavalli in Taittiriya Upanishad of the Krishna Yajurveda.
ഇവിടെ എല്ലാം നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്ന ഒന്ന്, ധർമ്മത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപ്പെടുത്താത്ത വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം പലപ്പോഴും അപകടകരമാകുന്നു എന്ന് കൂടിയാണ് ഈ ദർശനങ്ങളെല്ലാം നമ്മളോട് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്.
The very subtle point here is any education which is not based on dharma is likely to create dangerous consequences. In this connection, dharma many people wrongly understand as dana.
No. I think that.
Some people.
Yeah.
Dharma means you give some money to a poor man. That is not the meaning of that. Dharma means what sustains. Dharanat dharma mityahu. Otherwise, dhriyate anena iti dharma.
Yeah.
If the whole world or the universe has to be stable, what is the substratum? That is called dharma. But people generally understand dharma means giving 5 or 10 rupees to a poor man. That is dana. No doubt it is part of dharma, but that is not dharma itself, because part cannot be equal to whole.
Yeah. അതുവഴി ധർമ്മത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപ്പെടുത്തിയ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമാണ് മൗലികമായ മൂല്യബോധമുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം എന്ന് നാം മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു.
Basic value, that is the base or the substratum of any education, should be based on dharmic style.
ഈ ധർമ്മത്തെ അടിസ്ഥാനപ്പെടുത്താത്ത വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്നത് പോലെ ശാസ്ത്രത്തെ നാം കുറ്റം പറയുകയല്ല, പക്ഷെ ശാസ്ത്രം പലപ്പോഴും മാനവികതയെ മാറ്റി നിർത്തി കൊണ്ടുപോകുമ്പോഴുണ്ടാകുന്ന വലിയ അപകടങ്ങൾ നാം ഇന്ന് പലപ്പോഴായി കണ്ടതാണ്. യുദ്ധങ്ങളിൽ പലപ്പോഴും ആയുധങ്ങളുടെ സംഹാരശേഷി തന്നെ വലുതാണ്. ഹിരോഷിമയും നാഗസാക്കിയും എല്ലാം അതിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഉദാഹരണങ്ങളാണ്.
Shastra, this danger is, Shastra is sometimes understood as science. Shastra is not science. Shastra means Shasanat, Srananat Shastra. It will give you an idea. This is what you should do. When you do that, you are protected. That is the meaning of Shastra. But generally people don't understand like the Shastra means science. They translate. That's not the meaning. So what you are doing in the correct way, so that what is the desirable and desired result is achieved. This is the purpose. If it is not understood, the example given was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where science has created that. Atomic science is a great science, no doubt. But see the danger in that. So that is not Shastra.
വിവേചിക്കപ്പെട്ട മൂല്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് വിവേചിക്കപ്പെട്ട ശാസ്ത്രം.
So whatever is different from basic value is not to be accepted, though they call it a Shastra.
So അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും അനിവാര്യമായി വരുന്നത് മൂല്യങ്ങളെ ചേർത്തു നിർത്തുന്ന വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമാണ്.
So our education should be based on value system. It will be intertwined with value. Otherwise, the education can be dangerous.
കാരുണ്യവും ദയവും സ്നേഹവും എല്ലാം ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുന്ന വിധം മാനവികതയുള്ള ഒരു വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തെയാണ് നാം ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനമായി കാണേണ്ടത്.
Humanitarian consideration through compassion, help, sympathy, empathy, all these things should be there in education. Otherwise, the education can lend to, it's like a knife. I can give an example like that if you permit me. A knife is good in the hands of a surgeon. The same knife in the hands of a rowdy will be dangerous. Same thing. Surgeon uses a knife to cure. The rowdy uses it for killing. Nothing wrong with the knife. It's a question of prayoga. Yeah. This is how education should go. That's what.
It's true.
That's what Holy Quran teaches.
ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ പ്രസംഗം അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഞാനൊരു മനോഹരമായ ഒരു ദൃശ്യം പ്രവാചക ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ കാണാനാവും. ഒരു വിലാപ ഘോഷയാത്ര കടന്നു പോവുകയാണ്. A funeral procession.
An example is given. Sir is giving an example before he is concluding. This is the example.
ആ വിലാപ ഘോഷയാത്ര നടന്നു പോകുമ്പോൾ പ്രവാചകൻ ആദരപൂർവ്വം എഴുന്നേറ്റ് നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരു കാഴ്ച അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ അനുചരന്മാർ കണ്ടു.
When a funeral procession was going, there was a person who was standing.
The prophet.
Due to reverence and respect.
അനുചരന്മാർ ഇങ്ങനെ ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് പ്രവാചകനോട്.
The people who are following that were asking him what the reason.
പ്രവാചകരെ, അത് ഒരു ജൂതന്റെ ശവശരീരമാണ്, ഒരു മുസ്ലിമിന്റെ ശവശരീരമല്ല. എന്തിനാണ് അങ്ങ് ആദരപൂർവ്വം എഴുന്നേറ്റ് നിന്നത് എന്ന ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
The question was, this is only the body, not of a person, community of this or that, but of God. Why are you standing up and all that?
അപ്പോ പ്രവാചകന്റെ തിരിച്ചുള്ള ചോദ്യമുണ്ട്. എന്താ ആ ശരീരവും ഒരു മനുഷ്യാത്മാവിൻ്റെതല്ലേ എന്ന ചോദ്യം. അലൈസത്ത് നഫ്സ എന്നാണ് അവിടെ അറബിയിൽ നമ്മൾ കാണുന്നത്. ആ ശരീരം ഒരു മനുഷ്യാത്മാവിൻ്റെതല്ലേ?
The answer was, the body also belongs to the self of a human being.
ഇവിടെയാണ് ഭേദാതീതമായ ജ്ഞാനത്തിന്റെ പ്രസക്തിയെ നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ടത്.
Here is where we find the expanse of the real knowledge.
ആ ഭേദാതീതമായ കാഴ്ചപ്പാടുകളെ, അത്തരം ജ്ഞാനത്തെ കൊണ്ട് മാത്രമാണ് ലോകത്തിന് സമാധാനം നൽകാൻ നമുക്ക് സാധ്യമാകൂ എന്നതാണ് നാം ഇവിടെ വായിക്കേണ്ട ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട അടിസ്ഥാന സന്ദേശം എന്ന് മാത്രം സൂചിപ്പിക്കുകയാണ്.
The message to be taken from here is, it is this type of knowledge that will create international peace or universal peace.
നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനവും ആവശ്യവും ഈ സമാധാനമാണ്.
And what we require is this universal peace, which is very, very important for all sorts of activities, including progress in life.
സമാധാനം ഇല്ലാതെ പോകുന്നു എന്നത് മാത്രവുമല്ല, ലോകമാകെ ഇന്ന് പ്രചരിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടുന്നത് തന്നെയും വെറുപ്പാണ്. നിരന്തരമായ വെറുപ്പുൽപാദനം നടക്കുന്നുവെന്ന് നാം കാണേണ്ടതുണ്ട്.
Not only that there is no peace, there is only exhibition or propagation of hatred, one to one.
എവിടെയും നിരന്തരം വെറുപ്പുൽപാദിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. ഹേറ്റഡ്.
And everywhere we find only this.
ഇതിനു പകരമായി നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനം സമാധാനത്തിലേക്കുള്ള നിരന്തരമായ ക്ഷണമാണ്. വിശുദ്ധ ഖുർആൻ ഇങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, നിങ്ങളെ നാം സമാധാനത്തിലേക്ക് ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നുവെന്ന്.
Therefore, it is very necessary to proceed towards and achieve that state of universal peace, which is what the Holy Quran is emphasizing.
സമാധാനം കൊണ്ട് നാം അഭിവാദ്യം ചെയ്യുന്നുവെന്ന്.
We also salute because of this result of universal peace.
സമാധാനത്തിന്റെ ഗേഹത്തിൽ വസിക്കുന്നതിനെ നിങ്ങളെ നാം പ്രത്യേകം ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നുവെന്ന്.
And also you are invited to get into the residence or the house of the eternal peace.
ഖുർആൻ ദൈവത്തെ അഭിസംബോധന ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും പറയുന്നത്, ദൈവം നീ ഒരു സമാധാനമാണെന്നാണ്. അല്ലാഹുമ്മ അന്തസ്സലാം.
Quran addresses the Lord as saying, you are yourself the personification of peace.
ഖുർആൻ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനമായി ദൈവത്തെ വിശേഷിപ്പിച്ച പദങ്ങളും റഹ്മാൻ റഹീം എന്നാണ്. The most gracious and most merciful.
The most merciful, most gracious. This is the address that when God is addressed according to the scripture, Holy Quran.
അപ്പൊ സമാധാനത്തെയാണ് നമ്മളെമ്പാടും വിജ്ഞാനത്തിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായ സന്ദേശമായി നമുക്ക് കാണാനാവുക. അത് തന്നെയാണ് ഉപനിഷത്തുകളിലും കാണുന്ന പോലെ ഓം ഭദ്രം കർണേബി ശൃണുയാമദേവ ഭദ്രം പശ്യാമ.
Upanishad also gives you the same thing, only Badram, Badram, Badram. Badram means not only auspicious. Auspicious name, I mean, auspiciousness will come because only there is peace and satisfaction. So the same message is there, you find in the Holy Quran and also in the Upanishads.
എല്ലാ ഉപനിഷത്ത് മന്ത്രങ്ങളിലും അത് കാണാം. ശാന്തിപാഠം, കഠോപനിഷത്തിലെ ശാന്തിപാഠത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്നതും അത് തന്നെയാണ്. ദൈവത്തോട് ആചാര്യനും ശിഷ്യനും നിന്ന് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്ന പ്രാർത്ഥനയാണ്. ഓം സഹനാവവതു സഹനോ ഭുനക്തു സഹവീര്യം കരവാവഹൈ തേജസ്വിനാവധീതമസ്തു മാ വിദ്ദുഷാവഹൈ. ഓം ശാന്തി ശാന്തി ശാന്തി.
This is what the prayer in the Kathopanishad, where let us work, this is the disciple and the guru, combine the prayer that let us all work for peace and let there be happiness and bliss all around. Not for individual, not for one group or two, for universal peace.
അഭിനന്ദനായ ഫാദർ ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഞാനൊരു കാര്യം സൂചിപ്പിക്കാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്, ദൈവം സമാധാനമാണെന്ന് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനമായി പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു സന്ദേശമാണ് ക്രൈസ്തവ സന്ദേശം.
The Christian philosophy also speaks about the same thing only. The message of the Lord is for universal peace.
യേശു ഒരിക്കൽ ഒരു സ്ത്രീയുടെ മുമ്പിൽ ചെന്ന് വെള്ളം ചോദിക്കുന്ന ഒരു രംഗം നമുക്ക് കാണാനാവും.
There is a scene where Lord Christ goes in front of a lady seeking drinking water.
അവർ സ്വാഭാവികമായും അന്നത്തെ കാഴ്ചപ്പാട് പ്രകാരം ഹീന കുലജാതയായിരുന്നു എന്നതുകൊണ്ടാവാം.
At that time, it was considered that the lady was of a origin from a low community or a caste.
അവരാ വെള്ളം ചോദിച്ച മഹാനായ ഗുരുവിനോട്, ഞാൻ അങ്ങക്ക് വെള്ളം തരാൻ കഴിയുന്ന പ്രകാരമുള്ള ഒരു വംശത്തിൽ പിറന്നവളല്ല, ഞാനൊരു സെമിരിറ്റൻ സ്ത്രീയാണ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്.
It appears she said that I am not competent or eligible to offer you water because I am not born in that community. I am much lower. So what she said to Lord Christ.
അവിടെ യേശു സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്ന അതിമനോഹരമായ ഒരു സന്ദേശമുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ വെള്ളം ചോദിച്ചത് ഒരു മനുഷ്യ സ്ത്രീയോടാണ് എന്നതാണ്. അതുതന്നെയാണ് എല്ലാ മതങ്ങളുടെയും ജ്ഞാന സന്ദേശം എന്ന് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുകയാണ്.
The way in which Lord Christ beautifully answered that was, I asked not from a person of that caste or this caste, asked from a human being.
ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ ഉപസംഹരിക്കുന്നു. എന്നെ ഈ മനോഹരമായ സന്ധ്യയിൽ നിങ്ങളെ അഭിസംബോധന ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ക്ഷണിച്ച അഭ്യന്തനായ സ്വാമിജി, അതുപോലെ ഈ സംഘാടകർ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഞാൻ പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി പറയുകയും ഞാൻ പറയുന്നതിനേക്കാളും ഏറെ വിശദമായി വളരെ കൃത്യമായി ഈ വിഷയ സംബന്ധമായി നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വിശദീകരിച്ചു തന്ന അഭ്യന്തനായ എൻ്റെ പരിഭാഷകനെയും ഞാൻ പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം.
I am concluding with a word of thanks for Swamiji, and perhaps whether I deserve or not, his nobility, he says, I have also done a proper translation. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thanks.
So one thing we learn, all roads lead to Rome. There is no question of any fight and all that. Understanding is not there. And perhaps ego, two enemies of any human being is I and mine. And I is the root and mine is the result. If you are able to supersede these two, then you become human being. Otherwise, you are in the level of animal. This is what all religions speak. Thank you. എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ thank you. You opportunity ഉള്ളൂ.
I thank Sri Onampalli Mohammed Faizi Ustad for his simple and very nice talk and ably translated by CLR. So thank you very much, sir. I request Iswaran uncle to give a memento to Sri Onampalli Mohammed Faizi Ustad. பிடிச்சுக்கணும், அதை தொடணும். I also request Iswaran Mama to give a memento to Sri CLR. So just one small detour from the planned session. We were supposed to have the chairman's summary and comments, but we are going to have a short talk by a special address by Mr. Sridhar Narayan. This will be virtual, and once he completes, then the chair can take over and give his summary and comments. So we have one short session by Sri Sridhar Narayan. He'll be joining virtual.
Hello. I hope I am audible and clear to everybody.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. So,
minute before we start, I will just introduce you to the audience.
yeah, please.
A brief introduction. Mr. Sridhar Narayan has more than 23 years of experience. He is an expert in execution of complex transformation initiatives for top companies with clear focus on driving profitability for organizations by spearheading their evolution from conservative to a more process-driven, customer-centric models that streamline and align business functions. He is a mentor for startup entrepreneurs as part of the National Entrepreneurs Network, NEN, out of Bangalore. He is currently mentoring 3 company promoters in the ITES space. He also co-invests and helps startup technology companies. Sri Sridhar Narayan is currently the Group Director and CEO Infrastructure, Hiranandani Group, Impact Investor, Founder and Managing Partner of Pegasus Fininvest Advisory. I request Sri Sridhar Narayan to give his address.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I am very thankful to the Shri Vishnu Mohan Foundation that they have been able to give me this opportunity to speak to all of you. It's more like for me a learning exercise amongst all the very learned people around me who have already spoken before me. And I will really be able to talk to you more in terms of the sustainable development process, which is actually a link between the right to education, peace, spirituality, sustainability, and how you grow yourself as a person. I think it has got a deep link to all my senior and very knowledgeable spiritual and religious leaders who have spoken before me. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting session for all of you, including me, so that I can also learn in this process. My sustainable development talk will basically essentially go beyond. You have to grow inside yourself. You have to be your own self. And how do you grow? None can teach you, none can make you what you want to be, or none can make you. Somebody will say you have to become religious or spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own self. This is the words of Swami Vivekananda. So it's like once he had said, it is futile to talk to a man on empty stomach about religion, because unless he is fed, he is not even in a frame of mind to learn anything. Then only we can teach him religion or spirituality or anything else. So similarly, there is no other teacher but your own self or your own soul. So coming back to sustainable development, which is a very hot topic, which is sustainable development, ESG investing, social commerce. These are all the stuff that one really hears as one goes along. Now, as I see, sustainable development is a much used term today across geography. I'm talking about the globe and culture, but many definitions can be viewed from multiple sides. Today's focus is on sustainable development and how spirituality connects with it and ultimately helps in our overall growth. So before I again commence, I hope I am completely visible and audible to all of you. If all of you are say yes, I'll be okay. Great. So right education, key to peace, as we all think. The theme for the conference is a pertinent one, as I believe holistic education leads to a holistic development, which in turn would lead to peace, both internal and external. Peace within, peace outside. You don't need external strife. Young people need to be educated not only on traditional subjects, but such as math, science, history. We all learn that in school, but also on tools to aid personality development, as I would say. Your general EQ, emotional quotient, how we think, how we interpret data, how we interpret people, how we interpret emotions within us and outside us. This is what will sustain you as an individual across your lifespan. There is a high probability of instilling universal values in people of younger age. As you all must be aware, India is now getting younger. What I mean is, in the next 5 years, 65 or 70% of your population will be an average age of 25, 26. Unlike Japan, which was earlier having old people, now it's again gone back to productive people. India's in next 10 years, I can see average age of people being between around 25, around 60% of the population. So the aspiring population's needs, outcomes, thinking process is all different. But what we can contribute as we go along in this journey of sustainability is to build ourselves strong within and outside. I wish to share with you my own philosophy based on years of experience, both essentially spiritual and holistic development, which is come from both professional and personal experiences in my life, and how we should spiritually ensure that we have a holistic development of self and have a complete life by using some time-tested principles for growth. It is always to gain the maximum. We always say, we have to get the maximum out of this money, bang for the buck. Similarly, you should also get the maximum out of your own self, bang from your own soul, bang for the buck, bang whatever I can learn of what I'm capable of. For example, I'm sure each one of you is aware that we hardly use 1% of our brains. If you use more than 1%, you will be a genius, because that's the amount of computing capability that you would have actually as a human being. But unfortunately, we end up using some are, even the most active mind, as per this, is close to maybe 2, 3, 5%. And then if you cross that, then you become a genius. So coming back to my experiences, I believe that in my journey of corporate life, personal life, I've been through ups and downs, reached where I've reached, but also had to get some spiritual guidance, and had to go through a personal inner cleansing of our body and soul to ensure that we talk about you do soul searching to find the right answer, right? That's one of the capabilities that you possess and you need to use. I'm assuming if there are some Tamil audience out there, number Cheyyadai Cholven, Cholvadai Cheyven means like what we have, Manasa, Karma, and Vachana. This is a famous Sanskrit term used to describe state of consistency that you are expected to demonstrate as an individual. Manasa refers to the mind, Vacha to speech, and Karmana to action. These terms collectively refer to the holistic well-being of a person, as your thoughts, speech, and action and actual deeds are in unison to elevate your own self. And you will see, most probably when you use this principle, you're always successful with the other person that you're communicating or the action that you're doing. You derive the maximum out of the entire transaction, whether it is a person, whether it is an action, whether it is a work. Similarly, a person who focuses on the trinity of Manasa, Karma, and Vachana will be more at peace with themselves. You don't have stress because you didn't have any ambiguity in your thought, process, and actions. So you go back saying, so there is no regret in your body or the system so that it starts hurting you. So, and these kind of people are also well built to be able to take on any amount of stress. I mean, stress obviously is there in human lives, but the more you are clear with your own self, the less stress you cause to your own body and mind. So it is ultimately your actions that culminate into tangible outcomes. So let me go by each word of it. First aspect is Manasa, which refers to the mind. Our thoughts have a lot of power. When we think, when we speak, we speak with a lot of conviction. They are the building blocks which will determine our words and actions. The second term is Vacha, which is the speech. What you have thought, if you are able to translate your thought into appropriate words without any ambiguity, without any mix or a manipulation, that's the second step that you have taken towards achieving the holistic peace within yourself. The third is Karmana, that is actions. That is, with your actions, there is tangible outcome. I always talk in the corporate about outcome-based leadership. When we go and try to achieve something, we want an outcome. Unless you get the outcome, even if you have done lots of things, people don't recognize you. It is in contrary to the fact that, in Bhagavad Gita, we say that you do your karma and let rest all be taken care of by other things, because that is dharma for. Similarly, here, Vacha and Karmana, actions should not deviate from your thoughts and speech. And when young people, especially the young people, this is a message to them, should realize that our actions should translate into outcomes for society, outcomes for your own self, because we are able to translate everything in unison. So this will lead why I'm going into this, you may be wondering, but I think more appropriately, this would lead to your holistic development, both on the personal and professional side. And more importantly, it also affects the social economic ecosystem around you. So if you believe that you influence yourself, you also are responsible for the outcomes that you come out with. Similarly, you are also responsible for the reactions from others around you. So now I will switch gears and take you to a different concept, which is again related to being mindful and being very mindful. So nowadays people talk about mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? In different contexts, people talk about minimalistic living. Now, let me put both the M's together and say mindfulness and minimalistic. So mindfulness is all about wanting to focus instead of, it's not complex or concept. It is fairly a straightforward concept. It involves maintaining a real-time awareness of thoughts. You are aware of your surroundings. You are aware of where you're sitting. Right now, I'm sitting and having a conversation with you from my office in Mumbai, and I'm aware that I got a window on my right, I got a tree overlooking there. I'm sure that there are so many people sitting out there listening to me, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful that you guys have given me an opportunity. So this is about being aware of your surroundings. So you simply recognize there is such thought going in your mind without trying to categorize whether it is good or bad. I'm not being judgmental when I'm talking to you. I'm not deciding whether what I'm doing is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not being judgmental about my own self or letting you be judgmental about myself. You will listen to it, you will draw your own conclusions, and you will derive your own outcomes. The beauty of mindfulness is that you simply focus on the present moment without trying to recall the past or worry about the future. If I'm worried that what you guys are going to think about me or make a decision about me, or I'm here to impress you, then my mind is technically going back to that thought. But I am here speaking to you and with an open mind, saying that, okay, if somebody has a point of view to what I have said, I gracefully accept. I'm living in the present. I'm sharing my moment with you. It is a simple practice that is, in the Western society, and all of us are trying to, and as I see, people are trying to gain popularity. People say I'm in a popularity contest. I got a pride. My pride and ego says that I need to hit the newspapers. All of this comes in your mind when you do something. But when you are mindful of what you want to do, and you do it simply because you think and you believe that you are living in the present and doing it, that's called simplicity. So you are creating when I say simplicity, is not for anybody else, it's for your own self. You are being able to create a simple surrounding around your own self and your mind, and that reduces a lot of stress for you. Because you don't have to, like you say, I'm going to act out a role because I want to impress that person. So that the amount of stress that you go through before you have to act that role, and after you come out of that act of that role, is stress. So I'm just giving you simple examples to convey my thoughts. I'm sure you will apply it to your everyday life because it's applicable to anything and everything that we do. The second M that I'm talking about is minimalistic living. I mean, people say minimalism. It's nothing but saying you curtail. I mean, you buy a fantastic, great watch and then you figure out, oh, my desire for it was there greatly. After 5 days, and my law of diminishing marginal utility. So I lost interest in it. So, minimalistic living, just like mindfulness, is also a simple concept. It is decluttering your mind, your life. It's as simple as, you buy, instead of buying 1 or 2 shirts, you buy 5 shirts and you end up not using 3. They completely lie in your closet and you don't know when you're going to use it next. I'm saying all this from a personal experience, and I'm saying the moment you realize, oh shit, I have not used this for the last 1 year, but then why do I need it at all? You're so used to wearing a watch. Now that you've got a mobile phone, typically now watch is more worn as an accessory because people need to see that you're wearing a watch of a certain brand. Now, the moment that need from your mind goes off, that I have to impress someone with my watch, then your minimalistic living kicks in. If there is a need, you should have it. If you don't have a need, and that is demonstrated by you by accumulating things but not using it, that's minimalist. So it is, analyzing your own desires and asking your own self, are all these desires actually warranted, or do we need it? The answer may be yes or no. If the answer is yes, go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong about it. I mean, you will still enjoy staying in a villa outside a sea. And if you think that's your desire and that gives you a lot of satisfaction and peace day in and day out, so be it. The Japanese have got a very interesting concept of danshari, where they believe that less is more, and believe it is an effective tool to control the disease of excess. Now I'm using the word disease and I'm using the word excess. Anything in excess, like in Tamil they say, alavukku meerinal amrudamum visham, means anything in excess, even if it is nectar, it's poisonous. Like today, all of us suffer from diabetes, excess of sugar in our body. So we have to control what, then we are forced to control, because diabetes is a lifestyle disease, including me. So it's basically you have to control your sugar. So then, so in Japanese, in danshari are refuse, dispose, and separate. This is a very pragmatic way of making your life very simple. The savings you will derive from it will not be monetary, but also mentally and emotionally very satisfactory. You will be able to adapt and adjust, and you will actually grow stronger as a person. Minimalism does not refer to materialistic items alone, but they also refer to emotional things. Let go of any emotional baggage. Why keep it with you? That's also going to hurt you. I am very upset with a colleague of mine in the office, or I'm very upset with somebody who is not listening to my orders. My pride and my ego has got bruised, and I think I should really get bothered about it. But if I let go of that because it is external to me and I understand other perspectives, then I'm letting go of it. I'm not keeping it with me. That's also part of minimalism. So this philosophy will help you to declutter your life, both mentally and materialistically, and you will learn to be more happy. I figured out a lot of people, and some of my family members, they are much more at peace. They get less angry. They are much more in control of the situation. They take a failure or a win both with same amount of equanimity. So these all essentially helps their both body and soul. Maybe they don't have sugar problem, they don't have cardiac problem. So that's all about minimalistic living. I'm also worried about as a related topic about the Instagram culture, the social media. Today's people are very fascinated by being on the social media, by doing a Twitter, by doing online, apart from all the controversies that Mr. Elon Musk has created on Twitter right now. But more importantly, it is our own need to be seen there, to be there on Facebook, to show. Nowadays, I even see all women, including they're taking photographs of the cake that they bake or the dish that they made, and they immediately post it on the social media or Instagram. So that is a culture of instant gratification. I don't say that it's wrong. I'm just saying that additional help from technology, digital transformation they have their own positives. Sometimes it also creates a culture of instant gratification. That means you don't stay on a course. So this instant gratification is harmful in my opinion, because right now when I see youngsters who are MBAs, chartered accountants, this emerging productive population, engineers, diploma holders, skill-based people, it's all about maintaining the course. I mean, today people can change 5-10 times, but in our time we don't have the flexibility to do it. So we have to stay on the course, sharpen our skills, and become experts. In a way, it also goes back to the outcome and the action that we do. As they say, practice makes you perfect. So if you see in India, that's the problem. We need to keep not get bored and continue to sharpen our skills. This is not going to be an age of speciality. This is going to be an age of people wanting to do their karma or an action. So if you are a carpenter, you try and become the best carpenter. If you are an electronic engineer, you try and become the best electronic engineer. You'll get your results. That's the whole gamut of it. So if you see today, education, and since right education is the way to peace, as I say, it is because if you've chosen to become an engineer, but then after doing an engineering, you figure out that no, I'm not interested in being on the shop floor, but I would like to go and do a glamorous job of, roaming around the world, selling some stuff. There is a shift in your thought process. So finally, after a few years, you will realize the markets have changed. Today, markets are again, giving, instead of services, importance to manufacturing. So you need to be an expert in your skill. So today, if I find there are a lot of investment bankers without jobs, there are a lot of MBAs who did general education without jobs. But if you are a guy who can make a solar panel or fix a solar panel with a skill, you have got some work to do. So that's how you should head towards. And also, manufacturing sector will keep increasing its share of growth to the GDP. So I also worry about the culture of instant gratification, which maybe leads to reduction in patience in a person. I have to be patient and perseverant to achieve what I want. I will pursue my goal. That was the culture. Now the culture has gone this side. Oh, instant gratification. Oh, this is not giving me the right thing. Let me move on to something else. So you don't really, then you are being shallow. You are not being deep. So that's something which bothers me. So I think as the country is going to be made of much more younger population, we need to be mindful of this. So this is about what I think the culture of you being following the 2 M's of minimalistic living and mindfulness will allow you. If you even start practicing that as a part of your small things in life, it could be with friends, it could be at home, like cooking in the kitchen, or while eating, being mindful of what you want to do. These will actually make you more aware of your own self and really contribute to what you are doing. So now I'll come back to more things on sustainable development in the private sector. The private sector in the country has to, now my first part of this is over in terms of us, me, you, person, our own sustainable development as a human being. I'm talking more now more like a general topic about sustainable development, since I'm also investing in the social impact sectors of healthcare, technology, and other things. The private sector must contribute towards sustainable development for society. There is a worry today and lot of talk by corporates about sustainability is just a marketing tool. A lot of people add it in their balance sheet, saying that I am doing ESG investing, but are they really doing climate action? They're saying we'll become net zero. Now, how do you measure what is net zero? Every company, there is no law on sustainability in terms of carbon footprint, etc. So we need to be, as there is an old saying, that what you measure is what you monitor. So you have to have a measuring metric to monitor, saying how much of carbon footprint I have reduced. So let us put those kind of things into place. Then your ESG investing, your corporates can become more sustainable. I can give you a recent famous case of Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX, the foreign exchange tech company, and was one of the youngest billionaire in the world. But he has left a very poor impression on people's mind. Reason being, he claimed he was generating billions of dollars with crypto business, that with a plan to donate most of it. A lot of people make billions in this new tech world and say that I'll donate. But then, the moment, most of it away based on his philosophy of effective altruism. But then his business failed. Then people figured out this was just a way of getting to run or creating an impact on the business or on the valuations of the business. So he has been accused of fraud now. It has been alleged that his philosophy was just a sham to cultivate a very good image, a do-gooder image for himself. So I mean, why I'm giving this example is that today we are so caught up in technology and we are moving from one to the other, and world is developing, valuations are going up, markets sometimes are crashing, like the way US and Europe are now going through a near high interest rate recession kind of scenario. Thinking changes, but our thinking and process are always short term wherever it is. If it is a little bit more long term, then we stretch into and figure out how we need to adjust. That's where you are again being mindful, being minimalistic helps you to realign yourself to the new goals as the market shows you. ESG as a concept has gained popularity in the last few years. Global economies are on a transition towards a decarbonized economy in the next few decades. And even our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi has set a target of 2070 for India to be net zero. Currently, India derives 90% of its power from thermal coal. So to move to a net zero situation, you can imagine. But I think a lot of good work is happening. Renewable energy is gaining momentum. So you will use solar, wind, hybrid. So your carbon footprint gets substantially reduced. So, that again, as I said, private sector should be made accountable. So what you cannot measure cannot be monitored. So there should be certain key metrics that they should put in the ESG metrics. And I think that is on the way, as you will see some more regulations coming. Climate change is a serious issue. We have to address it. It doesn't impact us, but it will impact the next generation. You want a fossil fuel and you want to ensure that people live healthy going forward. We all have to contribute towards our share of climate action, whether it's a society, as an individual member, as a private sector investor or a public sector investment. We all need to be aware of it, including while we are talking in this August forum with all people involved, how we can contribute. Again, it goes back to being Manasa, Karma, Vachana, being in sync towards climate action. It's not as if you speak about climate action, but then you go home and don't segregate wet and dry waste. That's bad. So I run my own investment firm, which is social impact based, which essentially focuses on healthcare, providing education on education and edutech, and also in the area of clean tech, clean environment. So we are basically focusing on that. I have founded my fund on 3 principles. I'll close it by sharing them. I thought to myself, and it took me 6 months to come to those 3 principles, which I said was invest without fear and greed. Then anything given free is not valued. And the last one was invest in responsible, outcome-based, positive operating cash flow businesses. I'll summarize. When I say invest without fear and greed, it meant it is actually a good thing. Investing cannot be, people are surprised saying, how can you invest? You're investing because you want to make money. I said the moment you have all data on the table and you invest without being biased, with all data on the table, and you don't have intent to cheat an investor or the investee company, you are more clear in what you want to do. It again goes back to what I say, Manasa, Vacha, Kamana is clearly communicated to the other party. So there is less amount of stress going forward, except for the market risk of the investment. Similarly, if I say anything given free to people is not valued, take the example right from a home. When your children, current generation doesn't realize because they got everything on a platter. So they won't realize. Or you see, you give anything free to somebody, after some time, even the poorest of poor who get it free won't value it anymore. But take the example of Gnana as a car which was launched. Why was it failing in India while it is a good car in the export markets by Tata's? The reason being that Gnana was advertised as the most cheapest car. My driver, who doesn't even have the ability to buy a motorcycle, still will say, when I get enough money, I won't buy Gnana because it's a very cheap car. Because the aspiration levels are either mismatched. So anything given free, people put a zero value to it. So that's the problem. So to create an impact on people, so when you do free things, that is charity. So we keep that in a separate bucket. But when you want to create an impact on people, and being the key in this conference being peace and education is the best tool, and skill development is the best tool in people to survive, to learn about one's own self, about the skill, about getting employment because of the education that they get, and to be able to contribute to one's own self and to the society at large. So that was one of the ethos among the 3 principles. And so that's how I think I run my fund. It is, while I don't say that I'm not so fussed about how much returns the fund will generate, but I'm more fussed about the impact. So we have got a very clear impact scoring model for which I am also going to apply for a patent, which is essentially there's an impact score that we create for every company in which we invest. whether the guy is responsible, whether he has governance principles, whether he's passionate about his business, whether he's creating women empowerment or health or environment safety or something like that. So these are all the founding principles in which I'm just sharing this with you so that I'm actually telling my own self and reinforcing it for my own self or for my own fun. So you will ask me, so I just concluded by telling you two stories in this. When I was in Coca-Cola as a director, we were founding it in 1997 and 2000. So I was there for 6 years. We used to acquire bottlers, and I used to be traveling all over Maharashtra, all over the country. In Maharashtra, when there is something in villages that we used to conduct for actually recruiting retailers to sell Coca-Cola bottles. So that was called, Chaufula. Chaufula, in which means also we used to have a Coca-Cola truck, and we used to do a stage in the truck and create a drama or a skit for people to learn something, cleanliness at home, etc. One of these trips, I realized there was not adequate toilets in these villages. See, these villages are about 1,500, 3,000 people in a village, and a lot of women used to go to the field. So there was this, toilet issues for people, and that's why people are not coming so much out. So in one of my this, I'm talking about 2000 now, and I felt sad, so I gave some 10,000-15,000 rupees as donation, and then I went away, asking them to build 2 public toilets. And then after a few years, when I came back, I could see that it was like few years later, when one of my trips took me back to the village, I saw that those toilets were all completely unused. I mean, in a very bad condition and not being used. So I called the Sarpanch of the village, what we call the Talaivar in Tamil Nadu of villages, no, or Panchayat. And he asked him in Maharashtra, it was the Panchayat Sarpanch. So I asked him, why is this? That I thought I was doing a good job. When I did it, I called up my mother and said, my altruistic self, I was satisfied. Oh, I made some money, I made some donation. But the outcome was not achieved, because few years later, I got to know that these toilets were not used. When I inquired, they said, sir, nobody is, because it was free, everyone misused it. And after a few months, it really got so bad, it got shut. And, doors were opened or broken down, the toilets were full, nobody cleaned it. So then I realized at that time, this is I'm talking about now, it was 2000, then when we visited, it was maybe 3-4 years later, that anything given free is not valued, like I told you in my fund, my philosophy. So I asked the Sarpanch, what do I do now? So he told me, sir, put a contractor. So I hired a contractor, 2 people, not contractor means 2 people in the village who are given employment. I said, you keep charging 50 paisa and 1 rupee for use of the toilets. The man requested for me to give another 5,000-10,000 to repair the whole thing and to get the drain cleaned up and then again make it in a village. And after that, it worked, because every time people had to use it, they had to pay 50 paisa or a rupee. I'm talking about 2000. So that made a imprint in my mind that anything with even marginal money will create value and also create social impact. But if you give anything free to somebody, you are actually spoiling that person, even though you want to create an impact. So this was one example. Second, very recent, in middle of 2010 and something, that there was the UP government announced that they wanted to create toilets in all these homes in three-tier cities. And they actually created toilets for people in UP homes in Uttar Pradesh. And after some time, when they went for inspection, they gave some money for people to create toilets in the home. Some 25,000, 30,000 per house, because they didn't have. All of them took the 25,000 and they created storage rooms, and they still went out for the toilet. So anything given free and without monitoring doesn't get the right impact. So with this, the philosophy of anything given free is not valued is completely proven. And even today, when I see when people buy from one-on-one free, Indians are like discounts, and they like to go to these shops, but they should also anticipate anything which is given should have some value. Then they should really create that value rather than taking it. So with this, I think I've taken too much of your time, and I hope I've not bored you guys. I hope all of you, speaking to you itself is a learning for me, because that's what I think is the best part of all these discussions. I'm extremely sorry that regret that I'm personally not out there, because normally I come there and as Sri says and Guru says, and I participate, I mix around, and I'm able to sit there. This time, because I had some prior engagement today and tomorrow, I really couldn't travel, and I regret, and I'm really sorry for it. But I'm sure I will get some recordings of all the points that all of you really respectable leaders of the spiritual world have spoken today. And I take this opportunity to thank once again all of you for patiently giving me an hearing and an opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you for the excellent talk. And thank you for taking time off from your busy schedule to give this address. Especially the 3.1 you talked about at an individual level, and then at a company level, and the social impact funds that you and the principles with which you're operating. Thank you very much for this address.
Thank you.
We will move on to the next session, which is the conclusion of the religious leaders session. I request the chairperson, Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar, to take the chair, come to the dais, take the chair, and summarize the 3 sessions that we had by Dr. Mar and Andrews Tadath, Swami Ramakrishnananda, and Sri Onampilli Mohammed Faizi Ustad. Thank you very much.
My dear friends, it is really difficult to summarize the 4 talks. In fact, I would add Sri CLR Ramakrishnan also as one of the talks there. So 4 talks. Actually, it's very difficult actually to summarize. What I really enjoyed, I will like to say. Of all these sessions, today, I see this Sri Onampilli Muhammad Faizi Ustad, the Muslim scholar who was here. He was talking in Malayalam. And close by, Dr. C.L. Ramakrishnan was there, translating. I just took a picture from there. In my thought, as a person who is interested in interfaith, that is religious leaders coming together, sharing with one another, and having a kind of feeling of oneness in sharing. I often look for that. And today, sitting from there and watching these 2 people just stand and then look at each other, one is speaking from the perspective of Islam and the Quran, and the other person is adding his knowledge from Upanishads and from Bhagavad Gita. It is a kind of a real Hindu-Muslim dialogue that was going on here. That is why when Swamiji just made a remark on me, saying that he is a, I just cherish that phrase that you mentioned, that he is an interfaith avatar. Like that. Oh my God, nobody said that so far, but I really cherish that. And today, it is being lived here. In this very moment, these 2 people, when they face each other and then talk to each other, and then adding knowledge, and then saying, we are saying the same thing, After all, we are saying the same thing. So that was the great thing that I have learned, and I really appreciate that. I really wish that wherever we are, we have that kind of a same feeling, you know. It is not right to education. Some people seem to misunderstand here. A right to education is one of the fundamental rights in the constitutions. It is right education. So right education, it implies many things. Implies immediately value education, or an education based on religion and ethics. சமயம் எனக்கு என்ன கூறுகிறது, என்னுடைய அறநெறி எனக்கு என்ன சொல்லுகிறது. திஸ் இஸ் வாட். ரொம்ப சுருக்கமா எல்லாரும் என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னாக்கா, நல்லதை நினை, நல்லதை பேசு, நல்லதை செய். Now tell me, which Upanishad refutes this? Can you tell me which Bible refutes this, or which Quran refutes this? கடைசில பார்த்தா, மொத்தமா பார்த்தா கடைசில இதே தானே சொல்றீங்க நீங்க. இதைத்தானே ரெண்டு வரியிலே சொல்லி முடிச்சுட்டாங்க. நல்லதை நினை, நல்லதை செய். But as scholars gathering, people from different religious perspectives, philosophical perspectives, they bring out these several things that they have learned, the several things that the religious texts are saying to us, making it known to the public, and also to say or to suggest that almost every religious text is unanimous in certain things on how to live ethically and morally. This is what is being said. So you hear actually Swami Ramakrishnananda or Right Reverend Archbishop of Thrissur, or from our Muslim friend, or the friend from business. So all the four are saying something similar, like, என்னுடைய மனதும், என்னுடைய சிந்தனையும், என்னுடைய பேச்சும், என்னுடைய செயலும் ஒண்ணுக்கொண்ணு போகணும், ஒத்து போகணும். See, this is what is saying. And another time somebody else said, okay, I mean, if you are reading some text, you read it, understand it, assimilate it, and don't go away, live it. This is what is being said by all these people. We have to live, and we have to show it in experience. That is one reason I always ask a simple question to students. Since many students are here, I really like to, I like seeing you all here from Annai Velanganni College, right? Many of you are from there, right? See, I felt, okay, இவ்வளவு பேசுனாங்கல்ல, நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம் இல்லையா? We know, but are you happy with the knowing alone? See, or somebody, your teacher or a mentor, is asking you to put a stage performance on some values, on peace, on non-violence, on tolerance and intolerance, or on ahimsa. They are asking the students actually to put a stage performance. You go and perform, everybody claps. Oh my God, enna madriya nadikrappa andha pilla, enna voice pa, enna alumeya paadnaangappa அப்படின்ட்டு stage performance. Now, would you like to stop yourself by being an actor or a performer? First thing is knower. The second thing is actor and performer. You know what I'm going to say. What you would like to be? அதுதான் நான் எப்பவும் சில நேரத்தில் நினைப்பேன், உண்மையிலேயே ஒரு அமைதியையோ ஒரு நிம்மதியையோ நம்ம வளர்த்துக்கிறோம்னாக்கா அந்த மாதிரி ஆளுகளோட சேரணும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம சொல்லுவோம்ல, ஆள் பொருள் இடம் காலம் ஏவல் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம்ல, இந்த 5 விதமா பார்க்கிறது, the perspectives, ஆள், பொருள், இடம், காலம், ஏவல் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. உண்மையிலேயே ஒரு நல்ல நிம்மதியான ஒரு வாழ்க்கைய வாழணும் அப்படின்னா அப்படிப்பட்ட ஆட்களோட சேரணும். சும்மா அந்த கரைச்சலான ஆளுகளோட சேர்ந்துக்கிட்டு நீயும் உன் மனசை கரைச்சலாக்கிக்கிற கூடாது. இட் இஸ் யுவர் ஓன் ஃபால்ட் ஆக்சுவலி, ஐ வுட் சே. நோ, யூ ஷுட் நோ, ஐ மீன் யாரோட உட்கார்றோம், யாரோட பேசணும், அந்த மாதிரி ஆட்கள். பொருள் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாலே ஆக்சுவலா இந்த இதுதான், இந்த சமாதானமோ பீஸோ எந்தெந்த வேதங்கள் சொன்னாலும் சரி, அது அதை பத்தி பேசுறது, அதை பத்தி நினைக்கிறது, இதுதான் பொருள் அப்படின்னு சொல்றது. இதே மாதிரிதான் நம்முடைய பர்பஸே அதுதான். This is our purpose. The purpose is actually to have peace and to live peace and to spread peace. This is what has been said by all these scholars today, in so many words, in so many perspectives, both philosophical, theological, religious, and spiritual. So I would say that the right education is peace education. The right education is interfaith education. So I would say நிறைய காலேஜஸ்லயும் நம்ம ஸ்கூல்ஸ்லயும் என்னென்ன டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, இத்தனை டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, 15 டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, 18 டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு. காமர்ஸ் இருக்கு, பிசினஸ் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் இருக்கு, பிசிக்ஸ் இருக்கு, கெமிஸ்ட்ரி இருக்கு, ஆர்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு, மற்ற எத்தனையோ டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு. அந்த பாடங்கள் எல்லாம் படிக்கும் போதே, அந்த பாடங்களை படிச்சதுனால நம்ம நிம்மதியை அடைஞ்சிட முடியுமா? இல்ல. இட் கிவ்ஸ் யூ சம் நாலேஜ், இட் ஆல்சோ எம்ப்ளாய்ஸ் யூ சம்வேர். இன்டர்வியூக்கு போறீங்க, எம்ப்ளாய் பண்றீங்க, நல்லா புரிஞ்சிருந்தா, நல்லா தெரிஞ்சிருந்தாச்சா நம்ம இன்டர்வியூ நல்லபடியா அட்டன் பண்ணலாம், நம்ம ஒரு வேலைக்கு போகலாம். So this is for livelihood. See, what we learn in the classroom is meant for livelihood, but there is non-formal அப்படின்று இருக்கு. இதையும் தாண்டினது அப்படின்றது தான் I say that religion, values and morality and ethics, these are the ones that really teach you in life. அதுக்கெல்லாம் இந்த வயசு பத்தாது, நான் இப்பவே சொல்றேன். இந்த வயசு பொண்ணாது பத்தாது. ஏன்னாக்கா நம்ம எல்லாருமே இன்னைக்கு கூட நான் பார்த்தேன், நான் ஒரு மொபைல்ல ஒரு ஃபேஸ்புக்ல போட்டிருக்காங்க, ஒருத்தங்க ஒரு சின்ன பையன் அவங்க அம்மா கிட்ட, அம்மா எனக்கு ஒரே 5 லைக்ஸ் தான் போட்டிருக்கிறாங்க, அவன் என்னுடைய ஃப்ரெண்டுக்கு 40 லைக்ஸ் போட்டிருக்காங்க, he is more happy and I am really sad. அப்படி see, this is what the present world, youngsters world. But when you grow in age and maturity, and then you will also start reflecting upon yourself and your life experientially. I really wish all of you, and especially the youngsters here who are gathered, wish you peace. ஆண்டவர் நானக்க கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ் ஆண்டவர் சொன்ன உடனே இயேசுநாதர் தான், சரியா? ஆண்டவர் சொல்றார், the peace I give you, the peace that I give you is not the world which gives you that peace. This is beyond. இந்த உலகம் என்ன மாதிரியான ஒரு அமைதியையும் ஒரு நிம்மதியும் கொடுக்கும்னாக்கா, நல்ல கார், பங்களா, நல்ல பணம், நல்ல வசதியான குடும்பம், நல்ல ஒரு இதுதான் இது குடும்பம். ஆனா that interior peace அப்படின்றது that comes only from the absolute, from God. Again, the youngsters especially, that you should slowly imbibe the spirit of God in you. The spirit of God. எங்க கிறிஸ்டியன்ஸ்ல நாங்க என்ன பிலீவ் பண்றோம்னாக்கா, each one of us is created in the image of God. This is the fundamental truth for us. அதாவது கடவுளுடைய ஸ்வரூபமா நீங்க இருக்கிறீங்க அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்னாக்கா, கடவுளுடைய பல வேல்யூஸ், பல அட்ரிபியூட்ஸ் நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். அதை அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் ததும்ப வைக்கணும், அலைவா கொண்டு வரணும். திஸ் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். Thank you, Swamiji, and the organizers here for giving me this opportunity. I have not really summarized whatever has been said here, because we all heard whatever has been said here. But I just want to finish this with this happiness and a happy note and a blessing note of peace to each and in every one of you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar. Even if you didn't, even if you didn't summarize, I think you brought so much depth to the whole discussion. I mean, it was a revelation for me that one can summarize like this. So thank you very much. It was really excellent. I request Isran Mama to give a memento to Father Dr. Vincent Shekhar. கொஞ்ச நாள் பிடிச்சாங்க. So thanks to all the organizers and everybody for staying till the end and really all these addresses and talks. So thank you very much. And tomorrow we will be starting at 9:30 a.m. Thank you very much, one and all. Tomorrow's program, I'll just give you a brief of the program tomorrow. So we have a plenary session 2. The first plenary session that we had today, besides all the special addresses, was the religious leaders session. Tomorrow morning, we have a philosopher's session, plenary session. Plenary session 3 is conflict resolution. Plenary session 4 is sustainable development. And then we have valedictory session. So we have 5 sessions tomorrow. 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then lunch, and then the valedictory session. So hope to see all of you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Thank you very much.